Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Gabriel's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you guys how I made my delicious natural hot chicken, and it came out super delicious. For the ingredients, we're going to need chicken, and I will be listing all of the ingredients down below. And we're also going to be using all-purpose flour, 1 cup of cornstarch, baking powder, chicken bouillon, salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, paprika, chili powder. To my all-purpose flour, I'm going to add in the cornstarch, and I'm also going to be adding in baking powder, and we're going to go in and add all of our seasonings. And I'm just going to give this a good mix until it's mixed really well into the flour. Once everything is mixed well into our flour, just like this, we're going to set our flour mixture to the side and we're going to start on our marinade. I'm going to be using 2 eggs, black pepper, salt, Valentina or your favorite hot sauce, 1/4 cup of pepper juice, 2 cups of whole cultured buttermilk. I'm going to whisk my eggs together until they're nice and beaten, just like this. Once they are, I'm going to set it to the side and I'm going to pour over my buttermilk onto my chicken, and I'm going to add in my egg mixture along with the Valentina hot sauce and some salt and black pepper. I'm also going to add over the jalapeno juice or the pepper juice, and I'm going to give it a good mix. And it's until now that I realized that I needed a new bowl. I thought I could give it a good mix in that bowl, but I couldn't, so I ended up transferring my chicken into another large bowl. I'm just going to mix this together, and I'm going to let my chicken marinate overnight. The longer you let it marinate, the more flavor comes out, and the better your chicken flavor and juiciness is going to be. This is the next day. I'm going to add in my chicken into my flour mixture, just like this. And I'm going to add enough in for about 2 batches. And I'm going to give this a really good mix. And you can also go on with your hands. I chose to use a spoon. But I'm just going to fold my chicken, making sure every piece of chicken gets coated with the flour mixture really well. Once it's all coated, this is how your chicken should look. Now I'm just going to go in with my hands and place my chicken onto my pan, just like this. And some of them I had to dip into the flour to make sure it was well coated. But once I add all of my chicken into my pan, I repeated the process. Now it's time to make our sauce. Here I have some onion powder, garlic powder, chicken bouillon, salt, paprika, and brown sugar. To my large measuring cup, I'm going to add in about 1/4 cup of oil. And we're going to be adding all of our seasonings into the oil for our sauce. Once we have our oil, I'm going to add in all of the ingredients, and we're going to give it a good mix. And you need your oil to be warm so it can dissolve all of the seasonings, definitely the brown sugar. So I'm just going to give it a good mix and make sure I break down the brown sugar just like this. And you want your sauce to look like this. I'm going to set the sauce to the side while I fry the chicken tenders. And I use chicken breast and just slice them into chicken tenders. But I'm just going to add all of my chicken into my pot, and I'm going to make sure not to overcrowd the pot, or if you do that, your chicken won't cook right. But I'm going to add them in there and wait for about a minute, and then I'm going to start flipping my chicken. As you can see, you do not want to touch or start flipping your chicken as soon as you place them into the oil. You want to wait for about a minute. I'm just going to give my chicken a nice flip, as you can see here. And it's already cooking nicely and turning a good golden brown color. I'm going to give my chicken another flip, and as you can see, it's slowly turning that golden brown color. Once my chicken is done, I'm going to place my chicken onto a napkin to remove any of the excess oil that we do not need or want. Once I take all of my chicken tenders out, I'm going to continue the process of dipping and coating my chicken and adding it into the oil to fry, just like this. And you want to make sure your heat isn't too high or too low. And at this point, you can definitely taste one of your chicken tenders, and you can also taste it in the sauce because you're the cook and you have to taste test your own food. I'm going to place in my chicken, and I'm going to continue flipping it, making sure it doesn't burn and keeping a watchful eye on it. Once my chicken is nice and golden brown, I'm going to remove it from my oil. Once I have all of my chicken, I'm going to dip my chicken tender into my natural oil, and this spice is mild. I'm going to put all of the spices that I use, the measurements and everything, in the description box. And if you want it more hotter, you can add more of the spices. But I'm just going to dip all of my chicken tenders, and I'm also going to top it off with some pickles. And you can also use butter pickles. I just use regular pickles. And this is how my natural hot chicken turned out. It was super delicious. I hope you guys try this recipe. If you do, make sure you tag me, and make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe. Adios. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to show you guys how I made my delicious version of an In-N-Out burger. It was super delicious and juicy. I'm going to get started with making the sauce for my burger. I'm going to add 1 cup of mayonnaise to my bowl. I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of ketchup, along with 2 tablespoons of mustard, 2 tablespoons of sweet relish, along with 1 tablespoon of jalapeno juice. And we're going to mix this up, and the jalapeno juice and the relish is going to give the sauce a delicious taste. We're just going to set this to the side while I work on the meat for the burger. Here's my ground beef. A little tip is make sure you guys do not get 85% beef and 27% fat, because your burgers will shrink. To season my burgers, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of black pepper and 1 tablespoon of salt. And I'm just going to mix this together with my hand until it's all combined. And once I'm done mixing my seasonings together, I'm going to begin to roll into balls like this, and I'm just going to set that to the side, and I'm just going to continue to do the rest of my meat until all of it is rolled into a ball, as you see here. And I'm going to let my meat sit while I work on the rest. In my large cast iron skillet, I added some butter, and I'm just going to toast up my buns until it's nice and toasted. And this is an important step if you want a delicious burger, is to toast your buns. But I toasted my buns, and now I'm just going to remove them from the cast iron skillet. I just set them inside of my pan, and I continue with the rest of my buns until they looked nice and toasted. To my cast iron skillet with butter and olive oil, I'm going to add in my chopped onion. I chopped an onion in half, and now I'm just going to let this saute on medium heat, making sure to keep an eye on it and keep stirring it frequently. And once they look like this, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. I sauteed my onions for about 5 to 6 minutes, and this is how it looked. Now I'm just going to remove it from my cast iron skillet, and also make sure you turn off the eye. And this is how they look. They smell super delicious. If you guys love onions, then you're definitely gonna love this recipe. Now I'm just going to add some oil into my cast iron skillet. I'm going to add in my beef, and I'm going to smush them down with my spatula. Or you guys can also smush your patties down before you put them in the pan, and then just flatten them when they're in the pan. That will make it easier. So I'm just going to let my burger patties cook, and like I said, they did shrink because they had too much fat in them. But yeah, so I'm just going to flip my burger patties, and I'm going to make sure they're nice and flat because we're going to be doubling the patty. I'm just going to add my pepper jack cheese, and all the ingredients will be listed in the description below. I'm just going to stack up my patty onto the other patty, and this is how it looked. It was super delicious and cheesy. Now we're going to get ready for the part we've been ready for. Now I'm going to fix the burgers. I'm going to add the delicious sauce onto the hamburger bun, and you can add as much as you like. Now we're just going to place the burger patty onto the hamburger bun. We're going to put our caramelized onion and some lettuce, along with some thinly sliced white onion, or you guys can use sweet onion. Now I'm going to top it off with the bun, and this burger, taste how it looks. This burger was super juicy, and I also served it with some jalapenos, or you guys can use banana peppers. I hope you guys try my version of an In-N-Out burger and enjoy it. And if you guys make it, please tag me and let me know how you like it. Make sure you guys are subscribed and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And you can also shop my Amazon storefront that will be listed in the description box. Adios! Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made my delicious chicken tortas. You're going to want to stay and watch this whole video, and there is a warning that you all will be hungry after watching this. Here I have 2 large chicken breasts that I cubed. I have onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, cayenne pepper, Mexican oregano, chicken bouillon, black pepper, and salt. And as always, the ingredients and measurements will be in the description box below. I also have some cilantro and some onions. And here I have juice of 1 lime and juice of 1 lemon. Now it's time to marinate our chicken. I'm just going to add over the seasonings, the cilantro and the onions. Next, I'm going to pour over my orange juice and my lime juice. And now I'm just going to give it a really good stir, making sure to incorporate every seasoning. And this is the perfect marinade for your chicken tortas. Here's a close-up on me giving the chicken a good mix. Once I mix my chicken and seasoning together, your chicken should look like this, coated in the seasoning. And I'm going to let this marinate in the fridge for about 1 hour to 2 hours. But the longer you marinate your chicken, the better and more flavor you get. Now in my pan over medium heat, I'm going to add some oil, and I'm going to add in my chicken. And I added about 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to give this a good mix. I let my chicken cook just like this. I'm just going to make sure every piece is being cooked. Once it's been cooking for about 3 minutes, I'm going to go in and give it a stir. And at this point, your chicken should be done. And it took about 8 minutes to cook your chicken. Now I'm going to melt some butter in my cast iron skillet, and I'm going to add some mayo to my bread. And this is homemade bread. The recipe for this bread will be up soon, probably about this week, but I'm going to give it a nice golden toast. Just like that. And I also made some homemade refried beans, and I'm just going to place the refried beans on there. And I used provolone cheese, and a lot of people said they would have used queso fresco, which you can definitely use, but I'm going to add my onions and my cilantro, And I also made some delicious homemade salsa. The salsa was mild and it was really delicious, and it went very well with these tortas. I didn't record it, but I have some recipes on my channel for how I make my salsa, but I'm going to top it off with some tomato and jalapeno. Once I add all of my toppings, I'm going to place on the top bread, and this torta already looks so delicious, but I'm just going to slice it in half and give you guys a really good view of how the torta came out. Everything was super delicious. The bread was super moist. All the flavors just went well together. If you guys try this recipe, please be sure to tag me, and I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one.